Then came the metaphor that would shake the country. The people, he said, are like water. Water can lift the boat, but water can also sink it. Reporters froze mid-sentence. Networks repeated it instantly. Water can lift. Water can sink. The phrase surged through social feeds within seconds. If leaders respect the people, Obama continued, the water carries them forward. But if leaders deceive, exploit, or ignore the people, then that same water will rise, and no wall, no wealth, no privilege will hold it back. Trump shifted, his unease visible. The metaphor was too simple, too true. That is why I say, respect the people's voice. Respect the law, applied fairly and transparently. Respect the truth, even when it hurts. Because if you lose the people, you lose everything. 6 seconds of silence followed. Even the air seemed to wait. So, I ask you, Obama said, looking directly at Trump, not as rivals, but as men entrusted with responsibility. Do you dare uphold integrity? Do you dare hold even your closest allies accountable? Do you dare face the people honestly before the water turns against you? The noise returned, but softer now, uncertain, subdued. Across America, living rooms were silent. One comment on a live feed read, "He's right. The people are the water." Obama leaned back slightly. A leader who respects the people is carried. A leader who defies them is drowned. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. But the consequences are theirs, and they do not forget. The chamber was still. The metaphor hung like prophecy. Then a congressman slammed his fist on the desk. Enough. We won't be threatened by storms and floods from a man who doesn't even hold office. Another shouted, "You're poisoning this institution." Voices collided, angry and uncertain. From the front row, a justice leaned toward the mic. "Mr. Obama," he said coolly, "your words are poetic, but the court is untouchable. We answer only to the Constitution." The declaration drew a buzz. Cameras swung toward him. Obama waited, calm as still water. Then he answered, low and sharp. "The Constitution does not shield corruption. It does not excuse secrecy. It does not protect betrayal. The Constitution, like this nation, belongs to the people, and when you forget that, you do not defend it. You defile it." The chamber gasped. Even the justice went silent. "No one is untouchable," Obama continued. "Not a lawmaker. Not a judge. Not a president. Not me. Not anyone." Every shout that followed sounded smaller, thinner. Obama leaned in. "Respect," he said, "is not silence. Respect is truth, spoken clearly, even when the powerful don't want to hear it." That line alone lit the country on fire. #RespectIsTruth trended within minutes. Networks replayed the water and boat metaphor in loops. Commentators called it the moment that cracked the chamber. Clips of MAGA lawmakers shouting over Obama spread like wildfire, captioned, "Noise drowning in dignity." In living rooms and classrooms, Americans debated what they'd just witnessed. Some said he shouldn't have spoken. Others answered, this is exactly what needed to be said. And outside that chamber, America began to talk again, not about party, but about principle. Obama ended simply, "I came for 5 minutes. 5 minutes to remind you, and the people, that justice is not a privilege. It is a promise. Break that promise, and the people will break their silence. Keep it, and they will carry you further than any donor, any favor, or any secret handshake ever could." He stepped back. No applause. No ceremony. Just silence heavy with truth. The cameras caught it. The nation felt it. And as the footage replayed across screens, one question began to echo louder than all the noise that came before it. If the people are water, will they lift the boat, or will they let it sink? Because in the end, the message wasn't about one man or one party. It was about something far older and far greater. The truth that every ounce of power in America rests on borrowed trust. And once that trust runs dry, no wall, no wealth, no name can hold back the tide. The gavel had barely echoed when Obama's voice cut through the charged air. "If you believe you've honored the contract, then these words should not disturb you," he began, his tone measured but firm. "But if they do, perhaps it's because, deep down, you know the people no longer see their reflection in you." The words rippled through the chamber like a current under ice. Some faces tightened, others looked away. The silence was more telling than any argument. "The people do not demand perfection," he continued. They ask only for faithfulness, faithfulness to the Constitution, to the truth, to the sacred idea that no one, not a president, not a judge, not a member of Congress, is above the contract that binds this nation together. The stillness that followed was heavier than the noise had been. Even those watching at home could feel it. Across the country, Americans began repeating his words online. It is a contract you hold. Obama's tone deepened, carrying the gravity of history itself. And if you believe this contract cannot be broken, you are mistaken. Every empire that thought itself invincible was humbled when its people, the very ones it ignored, rose to reclaim what was theirs. Do not confuse patience for weakness. Do not mistake silence for consent. The people's voice may go quiet for a time, but when it returns like a flood. A wave of gasps swept the room. Reporters scribbled frantically. Pundits watching whispered, "That's the line." Trump shifted in his seat and leaned toward his microphone, voice rising. "You're exaggerating. America is strong. The people are fine. They voted. They chose me." Obama didn't hesitate. His eyes sharpened. They chose leadership, not ownership. And the difference, Mr. President, is everything. Leadership listens. Ownership silences. Leadership serves. Ownership demands. Leadership answers. Ownership hides. The contrast was sharp, unyielding. The room went still. The contract is fragile, yes, Obama said more softly, but it is also the strongest bond we have. It binds leaders to the governed, and it binds the people to their hope in justice. That is why accountability is not punishment, it is preservation. From the back, a MAGA ally muttered, "Empty words." Obama turned his head slightly toward the voice. "Empty words are those that risk nothing. I risk nothing here, but the people risk everything when their leaders fail them." A 6-second silence followed, thick enough to feel. Then Obama looked around the room. "So, I ask again, not just of one man, but of this entire body. Will you honor the contract, or will you tear it apart and expect the people to carry a burden you no longer deserve to hold?" No one spoke. Trump's allies glanced toward him, waiting for a signal. None came. The silence became the answer the nation heard. Trump leaned forward, gripping his mic. "You talk about contracts and people, but you forget. I was elected. They chose me, not you. I represent America. You represent the past." His words rang out, but beneath them was the sharp edge of defensiveness. MAGA lawmakers slammed their desks in approval. Cameras caught it all. Obama didn't flinch. He waited until the noise ebbed, then spoke calmly. "Yes, they chose you. But elections are not crowns. They are not blank checks. They are temporary trusts, and trusts can be broken long before a term ends." A hush fell again. "You say I am the past," he continued, "but the contract I speak of is older than either of us. Older than any party, any office, any man. It is the promise that power flows from the people, not the other way around. And that promise will outlast both of us." Trump shook his head. "You don't understand strength. Strength without justice," Obama replied instantly, "is weakness. Power without accountability is collapse. And history has proven that, again and again." Gasps. 6 seconds of stunned quiet. A congressman shouted, "You're preaching doom and gloom. America's thriving." Obama turned toward him. Thriving for whom? For the donor whose money buys silence? For the judge whose luxury trips never reach the public record? For the official whose loyalty is to lobbyists instead of citizens? Tell me, who thrives when the people's faith is dying? The congressman had no answer. "The question," Obama continued, lowering his tone until it was nearly a whisper, "is not whether America looks strong on the surface. The question is whether it's still strong at its core. And a core without trust, without fairness, without integrity, cannot endure." The words fell like stones into still water, rippling through the chamber, through the cameras, through millions of homes. Trump gave a short, mocking laugh. "More speeches. The people don't care about talk. They care about results. Results without principle are illusions," Obama answered. "They shine for a moment, then collapse. Ask history. Ask the nations that believed corruption was strength. They are memories now." Even the loudest voices went quiet. "You may dismiss my words," Obama said, "but you cannot dismiss the people's eyes. They see. They know. And no amount of noise will make them forget what they've seen." Trump sat rigid, lips pressed tight. The moment belonged to Obama. Calm against fury, truth against deflection. "I have heard enough about strength," he said quietly. "Let me tell you what truly holds a nation together. It is not the roar of its leaders. It is the trust of its people. And when that trust breaks, no title, no office, no robe can carry the weight." Every camera zoomed closer. Even those who disagreed couldn't look away. "The people," Obama said slowly, "are not background actors in this story. They are the story. They are the current that carries this nation forward. Without them, power is nothing but a throne on a sinking ship." He paused. The silence stretched. Obama's reply came instantly, clean as a strike. "Power without accountability is tyranny. And tyranny never lasts, because the people always rise." Gasps. Even some of Trump's allies went still. The line wasn't just heard, it was felt. Obama leaned forward once more, voice steady. "Don't mistake resolve for anger. This isn't an attack, it's an appeal. To the only authority that matters in a democracy, the people." He turned toward the cameras, his tone unwavering. "No leader stands above the people. No judge stands above the law. No official stands above accountability. That's the truth. Whether you accept it or not, it will outlive this hearing." The chamber fractured, some clapping, others shouting, but the balance had shifted. Obama's voice lowered for the final time. "The disease I named is real. It grows in silence. It feeds on secrecy. But today, before this nation, I choose to confront it. And I ask you, will you?" The question lingered like thunder after lightning. The chamber, for once, had no answer. The clock ticked. The cameras rolled. And across America, millions understood that those 5 minutes weren't just a speech. They were a reckoning. That is the disease we must name before it consumes us. The word disease hit the air like a gavel. The chamber froze. Live captions blazed the phrase in bold. Online, comments poured in by the second. "What disease? Say it again. Louder." Obama didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He leaned back slightly, every word landing with deliberate weight. "This disease wears many faces," he said. "It comes disguised as generosity, a gift offered with a smile, a fund branded with patriotic slogans, but fueled by money that expects something in return. It hides in handshakes at midnight, in donations routed through shell companies, in checks signed in shadows and delivered behind closed doors." A hum ran through the room, uneasy, defensive. Trump's eyes narrowed. Obama pressed on. "Call them what you want. Super PACs, dark money, private gifts. The people know what they really are, bribes dressed in better clothing. And when these funds seep into the bloodstream of government, they don't nourish, they poison." The line hung like smoke. Even the cameras seemed to pause. When lawmakers are bankrolled by billionaires with hidden interests, when judges are wooed by trips and favors, when officials trade accountability for access, Obama continued, "We no longer have a government of the people. We have a government of the paid." The phrase detonated across airwaves. Anchors repeated it instantly. Headlines formed in real time, "Government of the paid." Trump shifted, jaw tight. He muttered to an aide, but his irritation betrayed him. Obama didn't flinch. "I won't recite every scandal," he said. "The press has done that. The people have read it. They know who takes what, from whom. What they don't see is accountability. Every time money flows unchecked, every time a gift is excused as harmless, the message sent to every citizen is simple. Your voice matters less than someone's wallet." And when that message repeats long enough, trust dies. The internet exploded. Hashtag trust dies. Hashtag government of the paid. Hashtag 5 minutes for the people. Obama leaned forward. "So, Mr. President," he said quietly, eyes locked on Trump, "when the donors whisper in your ear, will you silence them, or silence the people who question them?" Shouts erupted from the MAGA benches. Out of order. Irrelevant. But the speaker didn't strike the gavel. The nation wanted to hear the answer. Obama didn't blink. Americans don't ask for perfection. They ask for fairness. They don't demand saints. They demand servants, leaders who remember who they serve. They don't expect justice to be bought. They expect it to be honored. He swept the room with his gaze. Lawmakers, justices, aides all caught in the glare of history. And yet, he continued, we see leaders in this very chamber laughing with donors while their own districts crumble. We see justices taking private flights, but refusing public scrutiny. We see slogans shouted by movements powered not by conviction, but by cash. The silence thickened. His words weren't aimed at one man. They cut through the entire machine. This disease isn't partisan, Obama said. It's bipartisan rot. It thrives where power hides from light, where loyalty is traded like currency, where justice is treated like a trophy. He let the words hang. The people don't care if the money's blue or red. They care that it's there. They care that it whispers louder than they can shout. And they care that those they elected hear everyone except them. Across America, screens flickered with comments. He's right. Finally, someone's saying it. The disease, Obama said, his voice rising just slightly, has a cure. It isn't more secrecy. It isn't excuses. It's transparency. It's accountability. It's the courage to say, no, I won't take your gift. No, I won't sell my silence. No, I won't betray the people who trusted me. Trump shifted again, muttering. A few allies groaned. But others, quietly, nervously, stayed still. So I'll ask again, Obama said, eyes locked on Trump. Will you stand against the disease, or let it spread until no one in this nation believes in justice again? The question vibrated through the chamber. Cameras zoomed in. No one moved. Then Trump slammed his palm against the desk. This is theater, he barked. You had your chance, and you failed. MAGA allies erupted. Applause. Laughter. Cheers. The gavel lifted, but didn't fall. The moment wasn't over. Obama waited. He let the noise burn itself out. Then, softly, he spoke. You call this theater, he said. The people call it reality. They live with the cost of leaders who protect themselves instead of the citizens they swore to serve. That isn't theater. That's betrayal. The laughter stuttered. The silence that followed was sharp. You speak of failure, Obama continued. But failure doesn't belong to one man. It belongs to the system that looks away when integrity cracks. To those who laugh when justice bends. To those who tell the people, sit down. Be quiet. Your voice doesn't matter. That's failure. Trump leaned forward, sneering. You don't belong here. Obama met his stare. Belonging isn't about title. It's about service. And the only reason I'm here is because millions of Americans still want their voices heard. They are the ones who belong. And they are the ones you cannot silence. A hush rippled through the chamber. 6 seconds of absolute stillness. Then another voice shouted, You're undermining the presidency. Obama turned calmly toward the interruption. Respect, he said, isn't silence in the face of wrongdoing. Respect is truth spoken even when it's inconvenient. The presidency isn't weakened by questions. It's weakened when questions are refused. Online, #RespectIsTruth began trending instantly. For too long, Obama continued, accountability has been treated like a choice. But it isn't. It's the foundation of trust. Without it, power becomes impunity, and impunity breeds contempt. He paused, gaze sweeping across both aisles. What are we teaching the next generation? That power shields you from scrutiny? That money buys silence? That loyalty to party outweighs loyalty to the Constitution? He waited, then answered his own question. Or do we teach them that accountability isn't a threat, it's a promise? That justice isn't marble words, it's a living duty. The room held its breath. Trump broke the silence. You speak pretty words, he said with a smirk, but words don't govern. Power does. Leave this room. The words sliced through the chamber like a blade. Every conversation, every whisper, every movement died in an instant. Donald Trump was standing now, his voice carrying across the hall packed with lawmakers and cameras. You're not relevant anymore, he said, his tone hard, final. For a breath, the entire nation seemed to hold still. Barack Obama didn't move. He didn't blink. The air between them trembled with the weight of a decade's worth of history, rivalry, legacy, unfinished reckonings. Reporters froze mid-sentence. Anchors spoke in half-whispers. Millions of Americans leaned toward their screens, watching a former president being told to walk out of Congress on live television. Then, quietly, Obama lifted a hand. 5 minutes, he said. Give me 5 minutes. Not for me, for the people. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Some scoffed. Others exchanged nervous glances. Trump folded his arms, lips pressed in irritation. His allies muttered objections. He's out of line. He doesn't belong here. But no one stopped the moment. The speaker hesitated, gavel poised midair, unsure whether to end this or let it happen. 5 minutes. That was all Obama asked for. Trump exhaled sharply, and waved a dismissive hand. 5 minutes. Then you leave. Obama nodded once, set aside the notes before him, and leaned into the microphone. His voice began low, steady, without the rhythm of a speech but the conviction of truth spoken from somewhere deeper. A nation does not stand because of who holds office, he began, but because of the trust of the people who gave that office meaning. The words echoed against marble and silence. This isn't about party lines, he continued. It's about whether Americans can still believe that their leaders are honest, that justice is fair, and that the system serves more than just those who can afford to buy it. The room stilled. Even those who wanted to interrupt didn't. Something about the way he said it, the calm, the certainty, cut through the noise that had swallowed Washington for years. Justice, Obama said slowly, isn't a title. It's a trust. And right now, that trust is breaking. He looked toward the press gallery, then at the lawmakers before him. The people see the headlines. They know about the gifts, the trips, the quiet favors traded behind closed doors. They see judges treated like kings, not guardians. And they wonder, if justice is for sale, then who's left to defend the people who can't afford it? A few senators shifted uncomfortably. One tried to object, but the sound of 100 cameras clicking drowned him out. Justice doesn't expire when a term ends, Obama said, his gaze fixed on the man across from him. And truth doesn't retire when power changes hands. Online, millions were already typing, sharing, arguing. Hashtag 5 minutes for the people blazed across every platform. Families in living rooms, workers in diners, students watching between classes, they were all hearing the same words in real time. Every time a leader hides behind wealth or secrecy, Obama continued. Every time accountability is traded for silence, a piece of the republic dies. And when trust dies, no constitution can save it. Trump's jaw clenched. His allies glared. But Obama didn't stop. He wasn't talking to them anymore. He was talking to the country. So I'll ask this Congress, he said, voice rising slightly. Who do you serve? The people who elected you, or the donors who own your silence? Who benefits when justice bends to the will of money? Who gains when the truth becomes negotiable? The questions hung in the air like smoke. No one answered. This nation was not built on wealth or bloodlines, he said, but on belief, the belief that power belongs to the governed, not the governors. Lose that belief, and everything that stands behind these walls crumbles. He paused, letting the silence speak back to him. Cameras zoomed closer. Even those who despised him couldn't look away. I don't ask you to agree with me, he said finally. I ask you to remember who you work for. The people watching tonight. The ones who pay taxes, who raise families, who keep this country alive while others trade influence in backrooms. They're watching, and they will remember who stood up when it mattered. Trump shifted, exasperated. Enough, he muttered, but the speaker didn't strike the gavel. Obama leaned back, his final words carrying the calm certainty of a verdict already decided. Justice must be seen to be just. Power must be honest to deserve respect. And democracy must always belong to its people. The chamber was silent. Then, somewhere in the gallery, a single person began to clap. Another joined, then another, until the sound filled the room, rolling like distant thunder. Obama stood, gathered his notes he never used, and turned to leave. 5 minutes had passed, but across the country, millions knew they had just witnessed something that would echo far longer than that.